going on, you guys? My name is Wyatt Murphy, and thank you for joining us for our second broadcast of AU Spartan Media's Arts and Entertainment team. Here we discuss several different forms of pop culture and media, but with a few twists. We've got all the details on movies, video games, and don't worry, there's more movies. So I'm pretty sure most of the staff is pretty much just borderline addicted to movies, now that I think about it. You know, have you ever, spent an entire weekend just binging on movies you've seen before? I guarantee you, there's probably at least 10 of you who have rewatched, the entire Harry Potter series in a day and half started just writing fan theories about it. Or maybe you've rewatched the entire Hunger Games series because there's 4 of those and you feel accomplished, be yes, I accomplished an entire series. I think all students are pretty much addicted to movies. We're the ones that have made MoviePass ruin its plans because, the company underestimated how many movies college students see. It used to be 1 movie per day, anytime, as many times as you wanted. And then we wanted to see so many movies, we've collapsed an entire corporation. But that won't stop me from seeing the Avengers 3 times in theaters when the next one comes out. So, to kick things off, we're going to have a feud. You'd think we'd be having a family feud or something, but we're not really related to each other. So instead, we're going to have a technology feud. This is the part of our show where all of our members discuss all things tech, all within 5 minutes. This episode's topic is Xbox versus PlayStation. Anyone who's poor to afford a gaming PC uses one or the other, so we're here to argue about which one is better. So, let's start off with Kyle. Kyle, what is your favorite console?
The Xbox.
And why?
Because it has a lot more fun games, and I also prefer achievements over the PlayStation trophies. I feel more accomplished when I get a score than when I get a trophy. So I like to play Xbox more because I love to rack up my gamer score.
Alrighty. Jewel, what do you prefer?
I've played Xbox, but personally I prefer the PlayStation.
Oh, you poor child. Why?
Overall, the interface, I like its simplicity. It's easy to run. Personally, I like the controller. Overall, I like it better, honestly.
Alrighty. And then this is Dylan. He's our guest in the studio this week. So, Dylan, what is your favorite console?
PlayStation. PlayStation, they've got a long line of just amazing games. They made me cry. They made me laugh. They made me throw my controller at the wall. It just, they just covered the full range of human experience. So I'm in PlayStation's corner.
Well, I'm on the good side of things. I like Xbox a lot better, so okay. I guess, yeah, me and Kyle are really going to know what we're talking about here. So let's kind of kick it off. So if you like PlayStation better, what is the defining feature of that? Why did you go for PlayStation in the first place?
I got to say the defining feature has got to be the games. I think even recently with games like Uncharted, The Last of Us, other games like that, games like Sly Cooper, they just came out with a new saga where they added on to the original trilogy. They update everything with high-definition graphics. Yeah, you feel me with that.
Yeah.
I think the games, they just have more punch, and they have more of an emotional connection, and you leave thinking about those games and want to play through the campaign again right after completing it. So.
It's kind of weird, but Microsoft has this kind of it's an indie title. It's called Halo, and it's kind of weird. It has all those elements in one game, in my opinion.
I stand with you on that one.
That's kind of, I don't know, good in my opinion. Good campaign, good multiplayer. I like the storyline, especially with their campaign. That's just kind of my viewpoint on it.
Okay. Halo is definitely one of the only shooters that I can think of that actually has a really good story. If you think about all the shooters out there, Call of Duty, not known for their story. Halo has good multiplayer and story, so I got to give it to Halo on that front because at least they're putting their effort in all the different areas they're making for the game, not just like Call of Duty where it's nobody plays the story, right? We'll just get rid of it.
And then, Jewel, what's your big defining feature on PlayStation?
Well, I really like that it has the 4K games. It can stream all the games in 4K. I really think that's just overall it just enhances the experience throughout the playtime.
Xbox does that too, right?
Movies.
Xbox One X.
All right, but we're talking about the Xbox One right now, and if we're
versus
the
regular PS4.
The Pro is better. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
So you got the Pro versus the X. Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of different. Oh, go ahead.
And I think going off of that, just if you want to take it back old school, back when I was 10 years old, 9 years old, everyone I knew had either a PS2 or a GameCube, and Xbox wasn't really in the discussion. I don't really remember any major titles besides Halo on the Xbox, but you know, I'm going back in my memory. I'm thinking like Tony Hawk games, all the Madden games, the 2K games.
Forza.
Okay, I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one. Sly Cooper, going back to that one again. Yeah, the controller scheme was a lot better, I think, than the Xbox controller. I think that the games, top tier, D1, just list of games. And yeah, I think old school PlayStation really held it down. So
You know, there's one peripheral that PlayStation has that I wish Xbox did, and they have PlayStation VR. That is like the one. That's like the one definitive thing that PlayStation really has going for it right now.
And I mean, Xbox had Kinect, and well, we know what happened to that thing.
Connect.
They don't even want
I
you to
played
remember
it.
that. They're very bad.
That one extinct faster than the dinosaurs.
well, we had PS Move too, and that wasn't.
Well, yeah, that was bad too. See,
That was
both
trash.
companies have had some stupid things in their past.
Gotcha. Well, I guess that's pretty much all the time we've got for Technology Feud, so I think we can all agree Xbox is the superior console. All hail the Microsoft gods. So up next, we're going to cut to our interviewer, Jewel, who spoke with a huge American Horror Story fan, but we forgot to mention that we left the fan on yet again. Good job for that, Jewel. Let's see how that played out.
Thank you for joining us. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Interview with a Fan. I'm your host, Joel Hoopy. On today's show, we will be discussing the horrifying world of American Horror Story. Premiering in 2011, American Horror Story has thrilled all audiences of all ages with their supernatural takes on freak shows, asylums, hotels, elections, and much more. Throughout 8 spooky seasons, I'm joined today with my special guest, Professor Stacy Sorogoli, who will be sharing her thoughts on the terrifying show. Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm
Thank you
great.
for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right. So what really drew you to American Horror Story?
To be honest, I was terrified when my friends would talk about it the very first season because I don't like horror anything. I can't go to haunted houses or anything like that. But what drew me to it recently, and I would say even the last few months, is I've run out of time to watch shows that season to season keep going, whereas this is a nice 10 to 12 episodes and it wraps up and you can choose kind of which one you want to watch. So for me, that was really convenient. And then I found out it's actually not that horrifying. It's actually much more interesting than just a horror story.
Right, right. So out of all the 8 seasons, which one would you consider your favorite?
Well, I think the most structurally sound and probably the fan favorite, which is what got it started, was the very first one. And what was the horror?
Murder House?
Murder House.
Murder
Thank
House,
you. Oh,
yes.
Lord, see, I'm not even that good. Yeah, Murder House. I think it's the most interesting. I think they really did a good job getting a lot of different characters into a nice arc storyline. It had a nice wrap up. I thought it was kind of a little bit of something for everyone. So that was probably my favorite, just structurally based. But I think Coven's incredibly enjoyable, and I thought
that's the
Cult
one with
was really
the witches is Coven,
yes,
right? Okay.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
And
that
actually,
one's a good one
the
too.
two of those, the first one and Coven, are the ones that is combining to make the 9th season that's going on right now.
All right, and that one's Apocalypse,
That's
right?
yeah.
Okay, that's
There you
cool.
go.
All right, so out of all of like the actors, because they use the same cast every season, out of all of them, which one would you consider your favorite?
Well, I mean, is it horrible to just immediately assume we're all going to say Jessica Lange? I mean, do we? Right? I mean, I think we have to. She's pretty brilliant, and she's certainly a seasoned actor that I think we all admire for being able to do so many different types of roles. But Sarah Paulson is, pretty amazing too, and I think. I mean, there's several of them. Angela Bassett's always wonderful to see. So yeah.
So we're on season 9 now, Apocalypse. Have you been keeping up with it?
No.
No?
I watch everything when I can binge it.
Right.
Right,
Sometimes
so-
it's easier, like you said, with your time convenience and.
Well, yeah,
Getting
and
everything
also
wrapped
now
up.
we are a society where we want everything right now, right? So to actually wait week to week is something that I don't know that we all know how to do anymore. So no
Right.
spoilers.
No spoilers.
Okay.
No spoilers. All right, so one final question.
Yeah.
So if you were to be a part of American Horror Story, how would you go out with your season? Where would it take place? What would you do?
Good question. I don't know, maybe like going, like, since there's such a breeze in the studio today, it kind of makes me think that maybe we would do something where it's like Oz. Like you kind of go into some kind of like tornado and you land in some land where you can't get out of it, and maybe everything's a little too colorful and a little too bright, maybe something like that, maybe something a little more fanciful.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, actually.
Well, I appreciate the idea of sitting here in a windstorm.
Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Big thank you to our guest, Professor Stacy Sorogoli.
Thank you for having me.
For being our special guest. We'd like to thank you, and we'll see everyone next week.
Well, that was, that was an interview with a fan, just as the title suggests. So a big thank you to Stacy Sorogoli for coming into the studio and sharing their thoughts. At this point, we turn things over to our very own Kyle, where he gives his opinions on the latest movies. Kyle's the guy who will tell you whether or not to see a movie an excessive amount of times in the theater, and maybe even enough times where the staff learns your name, which is a little weird. So Kyle's our movie buff who spends more time seeing movies than sleeping. We're going to give Kyle exactly 60 seconds to let us know if the movie is worth a $10 ticket or if you should save your cash. Kyle, tell us about what you saw this week.
I saw Halloween. Before I go into my review, there are a couple of things I need to say. First off, it retcons the series, so if you want to watch all of Halloween, you do not have to. It actually is a sequel to the first one. No, not this sequel. No, not the other sequel. This is actually the third sequel of the Halloween franchise. And this movie takes place 40 years after the first one. So now, just like my last review, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons. The pro, Jamie Lee Curtis was amazing in the movie, and actually all the acting is really good. For a slasher movie, that is a big deal because there's usually one person that is overacting in a slasher movie, and in this case, everybody was doing their part well, and every single person had something to say to bring out their characters and make them three-dimensional. Even the smallest of characters that you knew were going to get killed immediately, but they had one line to make you feel bad that they were actually getting killed. And that is a big deal for the slasher genre. The special effects for the kills also looked really good. I wish that, for a con, I wish that we got to see some of the kills in action. You actually just see mainly the after effect. And overall, I give Halloween a B because of the story, which is lacking.
All right, well, thanks, Kyle, for determining the fate of my wallet this weekend. At this point in the show, we now turn to a brand new segment we like to call the Wheel of Fun. Each episode, we spin our Wheel of Fun and take turns answering random pop culture questions, and whoever answers a question incorrectly must complete a challenge chosen by the staff. Let's see who's first to spin.
Okay, hi guys. Welcome to the Wheel of Fun. This is a new segment we're doing on ScreenPlay. So the whole synopsis of this game is we're going to spin the wheel, and whoever's name it lands on has to answer a pop culture question. And if they get it wrong, they have to spin an even tinier wheel to tell them what flavor jelly bean they have to eat. It's Bean Boozled. So yeah. Brittany, it's your turn again.
Yay!
Fling tastes good like a cigarette should. I have no idea what this is.
It was from the Flintstone cigarette ads when they used to do. It was Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
Tinier wheel.
Let's have something that doesn't taste good out of that pot of jelly beans.
Well, that was a dirty question.
That was a good spin.
Where is it?
Solid spin.
Is it this one? Yeah, the pink colorful one.
It could be.
That's not a pleasant look.
Oh no, Brittany got dirty socks.
Huh.
Kyle again.
Name at least 2 Marilyn Monroe movies. Oh boy.
Looks like that little wheel's getting spinned up.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Doesn't know.
Tinier wheel.
Ooh.
Be the orange
Tutti
one.
Fruity or Stinky Side?
I be instinct.
Well, what's your face normally?
Tutti Frutti.
Wyatt.
Oh yay. Okay, What was Alfred Hitchcock's first colored film? The Birds, Rope, or Vertigo? Ooh. I never really, I watched like Psycho, and that was about it from Alfred Hitchcock, so that was kind of a big grin on their face. They're like, he's gonna eat a jelly bean. I want to say Vertigo.
You'd be incorrect.
Rope. You already knew that too.
Okay, spin the tinier
Spin
wheel.
the even tinier wheel of fun.
Tinier wheel.
Let's take a spin and see what it is. Yay! This one is the, oh Jesus. Either chocolate pudding or canned dog food.
Gotta pick a brown one.
Yeah, yay. These all look horrendous. This is gonna straight up be the dog. I bet none of these are the good flavor. Chocolate, yeah!
Oh,
Bring it.
dang. I mean,
Alright, so I guess he's not a total
Unless it's really good
loser.
dog food, I don't know.
Brittany.
Oh, what is Meghan Markle's first name? You would think that it's Meghan. Sarah?
It's actually Rachel.
Who was that?
Okay. Strawberry banana smoothie or the tubfish.
Oh my god.
You got both.
Whatever their names are, Martha.
Rachel.
That's you.
What is the popular drug in town on the show Riverdale? Pixie dust, jingle jingle, or Mary Molly? Which one? I'm going with pixie dust.
Nope, jingle jangle.
Alright, what's Rachel gonna get this time?
Berry blue.
So our choices
Coconut
are
or spoiled milk. Those are just
Tyler's favorite.
Well, you should get the coconut, probably.
Oh,
Please spoil milk, I'm pretty
that was
sure.
coconut.
Well, coconut's bad anyway.
Wheel of Fun.
Tyler.
Which female pop singer holds the record for most solo #1 hits on the Billboard charts? I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Beyonce. Just put that in the seats.
Look at the back.
Whitney Houston.
All right, coconut or spoiled milk. Well, both suck.
I don't know about you, but I'm having
That's
fun
how
so
I feel.
far.
The plain white ones. That's how I feel about that choice.
Oh God, that's milk. Oh God. It's on my tongue.
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching our very first episode of Wheel of Fun. So tune in next time to see us do another wacky challenge with pop culture questions. You can either submit a challenge to us here at AU Spartan Media, or we can even just come up with another wacky challenge for us to do. So thank you guys for watching so much, and we'll see you next time. Alright, thank you guys very much for watching our second broadcast from AU Spartan Media's Arts and Entertainment team. So tune in next time to see who will be interviewed with the fan left on, who's going to spin the happiest wheel on earth, and to discover all the best things in pop culture. See you all again, same time, same place.